have a process of like how we go through this, so that it's such a drastic thing that it's already hard enough to change. You know, our odds are like 9 to 1 that you're ever going to change a part of yourself that you think is changeable or you'd like to change. Those are, you know, whatever. It's already challenging enough. You know, now it's like I'm not even in control of my nervous system in relationship to food, because I've steadily built up this like set of like emotions and taste buds and addictions and cravings. Like, you expect me just to drop all that shit and just choose better, not be a fucking slob.
Good point.
Right? Well, okay, so what got that person to even start eating that way in the first place? Most likely our hypothetical person here that's, you know, got a food problem, an overweight problem. Well, obviously there was an emotional thing behind that. We can all dumb ourselves, like, it's really easy. This is a real simplified idea. This person probably had some sort of thing going on that led to some sort of panic or anxiety or stress, or that they just used to cope with food. That food became
food to cope with it,
right,
the emotion. Yeah,
that's right. And so, but the fact that they even chose that coping mechanism, there's something under that, because they could have chose becoming exercise addicts. They could have chose, right? So why did this individual decide to cope with food?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a conscious decision? Right? I don't think it was a conscious decision. I think one day something inside of them deeper emotionally triggered them to start eating a certain or particular way. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, I used to get off on my mom, love my mom to death, but we've had a little bit of a rough relationship, and I would go to the fucking store without thought. I would buy a fucking pint of ice cream and eat the whole goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was no part of me that was like, well, now I got off on my mom, I am upset. I am consciously going to drive to the store and buy fucking Haagen-Dazs and eat this whole thing down in about 30 fucking minutes.
Right. See, the thing is, I love the way you're saying that, because that paints the perfect picture of, well, if it was as simple as just saying I have free choice, then wouldn't this world be a completely different place?
Oh, it wouldn't even be this world.
Right.
It wouldn't even be this world.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. You know? And so now it's like, so what created that? Like, what little version of, you know, what young Billy, what little Billy was the one that decided, like, sweets were going to be how I, like, handle my emotional response to this individual who's my mom. Right?
Yeah.
Because he did that. Mm-hmm. He did that as some sort of survival mechanism. He did that to save me. He chose for me when I was in a state of stress and trauma and I couldn't choose for myself. I subconsciously chose for myself. My bigger version of me, that part that we talked about, that's the will part, stepped in, said, okay, smaller version of you, we're going to develop this trigger and it's going to save you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's not conscious. That's not free. You're not freely choosing that. Right?
Yeah.
And so to walk around and like make someone believe that because these things are happening, that it's their fault and they can just change it with a simple fucking decision. No. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I know you want to say something, but yes, I can change it. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally. We're not saying that.
Absolutely clear. I can change it, but
Yeah.
I have to become conscious of what really needs to be changed.
Right.
And that's where the coaching industry fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
That's where there's coaches. Sorry, I'm not going to hold back right now because this shit is something that's near and dear to my heart. I want to choke them out when I hear some of their weak ass coaching advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? It's like, are you not, stop thinking about what you need to tell your client.
Yeah.
And fucking listen.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Their little person is talking to you. Their little person is crying for help. They have paid you hard-earned money. Fucking listen, man. You know? Because then you wouldn't say stupid shit like, oh, they got free choice. Fucking suck it up. You're a shitty client. No, fuck you. You're a shitty coach. Sorry, man. Oh, god damn. That shit just gets me. You know? Because everybody, I believe everybody deserves an opportunity to be okay.
Yeah.
If you're walking around right now and you're worried about people like worrying about like what you look like being overweight, or because you're homosexual, or because you were sexually molested, or you were beat the fuck up, or you were abandoned in some way, or you were smart. Maybe you're fucking walking around feeling fucked up because you're smart as hell and you're beautiful and you're judging yourself because of that. All of those things, man, all of those things can be changed. And if you got the right coach, if you got the right set of ears listening, they're going to hear you. And they're going to help you have permission to be okay with yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's what coaching is about. That's what... I think... That's right. And so coaching, I can help someone make better choices. Or, sorry, no, I can't. I can't help them do that. I can help them become aware of how they're choosing and connect it down to that little tiny, little Russian babushka that's on the inside, that's crying for help.
Right.
You know? I can help that, you know, and is there a correlation by helping them breathe better? Yeah, of course there is. Is there a correlation to like getting them out and moving? Yeah. Is there a correlation between their food and their resting patterns and being hydrated? Yes. Will it help them if they learn how to like understand the energy around money? Yes, you know?
Right.
Will it help them if you learn to teach them to love them? Yes, all of those things will help. But you gotta be able to recognize like some of the choices that they're making that are stopping them from doing those things are out of their control.
Yeah.
Because they're not aware they're even choosing that way.
Beautiful.
They're not even aware they're choosing that way. Mm-hmm. So instead of, you know.
Yeah, and we all have these patterns, no matter what age, no matter how much quote unquote work we've done on ourselves, we still always have different little patterns that we do and that we choose without knowing. That was a really powerful rant, by the way. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for doing this and getting curious with me. And so now here we are at this point of, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, I have a tangible example. It's not really around eating.
No, go with it. Let's hear it.
Of becoming aware of a choice that I make. Really, I'm not even sure how many times I've done this without being conscious of it. And that was the other day, like, well, it was 2 weeks ago. I was working out in your little studio workout space, and it's a shared space. So there's like a bigger office and then a bathroom, and then another like warehouse room. And so I walked out of the little studio area and around the corner to go to the bathroom, and I heard footsteps on the other side of the warehouse door. And instead of just going into the bathroom because I needed to pee, I actually turned around really fast, walked as quickly back into the studio room as I could without running, closed the door, and was like, okay, I can just, go home and I'll use the bathroom there. And then I was like, what? Like, what did I just do? Like, I just got scared of, I mean, I know the people that are there. Like, it's not like I was in any danger. What was that? And I realized that as a child, because of the abuse that I experienced as a kid, he was a teenager, he wasn't a man, but he was a teenager, I had a really deep fear of men. And so I distinctly remembered in this moment in my adult experience of turning around really fast, I remembered one time being at a friend's house. I was walking down the stairs and it was a zigzag staircase, and then their dad walked in the door at that, and it was right at the bottom of the staircase. And I heard him come in the house, and I froze, and then I turned back, went quickly up the stairs, and I hid in my friend's closet until I heard him go to his bedroom, do his thing, and then I came out. And now, of course, like that mechanism or that instinct to turn and hide quite possibly saved me from some scary situations as a child. I don't remember any specifically, but like obviously I learned that based in my trauma. And then here I am at age 32 realizing for the first time that I still do that. Like, I mean, and that's like a pretty like, I mean, it seems like a pretty obvious thing. Oh, every time I get surprised by another human being in the other room or whatever, I immediately want to hide. I mean, but I seriously had like zero consciousness of that until that point. And so I think like identifying triggers is such a huge part, like you're saying, identifying the real reason that we're choosing something. Now, I mean, the thing about me turning and hiding in that scenario is not really a self-destructive behavior. But how many other situations do I get into where I hide my true self, my authentic self? What other triggers are there that makes me immediately turn inward and hide as much as I can? What makes me grow small and try to be invisible? Now, because I realized that I had a very tangible physical expression of a past trauma, a trauma like a reflex, a past response to a certain situation, I now get to explore, wow, where else do I do this? I now have the awareness to go deeper. But it's like you're saying, until we have that awareness, how can we, and we're just addressing the choice to do something differently. Well, it's like we can't address choices that we're not making from our conscious mind. The choices that we're making from our subconscious mind cannot be addressed as if it's a free choice.
Yes. Yes. And it's those unconscious, those unaware, involuntary choices that are driving the fucking ship.
Yeah.
They're the captain, right? They're actually more like a 4-star admiral.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like there is some secret government shit going on that only a select few know about.
Right.
And this is like, encoded message coming through. We're going to decode it this way, the real way, and then we're going to pass it on to everybody else as the message that we want them to know so that this shit and this ship can keep heading where it needs to go.
Right. It's,
yeah.
And so, yeah, that's a wonderful example. And so, can we keep going with your example?
Sure.
So, you recognize this trigger of you're going to go to the bathroom, but you hear a door and it reminds you of being a kid and the fathers and stuff and running away. And what's underneath that?
What's underneath that?
Yeah. What made you run away from their fathers?
I mean, well, I guess I associated man with danger, with being hurt.
Right. And you chose that?
So I chose to associate man with being...
Right.
No.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, yeah, exactly. Good point. But that could have, it's like I can't think of any real